Okay, so now we're, and you guys can see my, my Google Doc right there, right? Okay, let me just get rid of these things. I'll keep that one up. I'm trying to minimize the tabs. It was a hot mess this morning because I had like all these tabs up and my internet's really slow. And it was just being very painful. So I'm trying to streamline it a little bit for you guys. So Google Slides to create differentiated instruction. Again, I created a hyperdoc for an agenda. You've got the information, the slide deck for the training, the templates for the training, the original slideshow. Then we have ideas, templates, some courses from Coursera, Vegas PBS One Place. There are a whole bunch of resources there, tutorials and what have you that maybe you could assign to your kids. That's why I add that. So they're just FYI for you guys to do. Please sign in the chat if you have not done so. And the other thing, at the end of this session, if you could go ahead and complete the reflection survey by clicking on it and doing it. And yes, it's the same one, but I do need to have one for each of them so that I can give you guys credit for attending. And then at the end of you completing your assignment, you will then be submitting it by hitting that link right there. So same drill. I try to make it consistent, just like most instruction. I did change up the colors so that they would match the apps, but that was it. And other than that, so that brings us to differentiated instruction. And again, I am not launching it because I'm doing two different screens and it doesn't seem to like it when I do that. So welcome. This is where I'd rather be, sitting in the sun. Well, not in the sun, maybe by the ocean would be nice. I could deal with that. So tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Benjamin Franklin. Yes, I've got to add a little literature in there, right? Whether it is online or you're working with students face to face, there is nothing better than actually getting the students involved with the instruction. And one way that we're going to look at today is to use Google Slides for differentiated instruction. I don't even know why I put a picture of the same information there, but I did. But we are going to do a lesson that I have tailored from, and I'll show you guys the slides or what I used to create it. But I chose, instead of employability skills for this one, I chose a simple graphic lesson that has the same set of skills that are being repeated at different levels of ability. So I chose this particular lesson because I thought you guys could, if you did not already know how to create movement in your slide decks, then at least you would learn something new. And also it's just a nice visual way to do it. You are going to use the template that I used, but to do your own lesson. But I honestly think, and I'm going to go back to here because this is the template I used. I think that you will be better off using the template that I base mine on. And that is one provided through Google. They have these slides for differentiated instruction, and they have it set up like this. They have the beginning, the intermediate, the challenge. They have one slide for each, and you're done. When you put it in present mode, steps you through. If I want to do the intermediate challenge, okay, you put in your lesson. You put in any links you want them to watch or lessons or instruction or whatever, however you want to do it. Like for me, I ended up creating actual pages, and we're going to step through that anyway. So I guess I could pull it up. Let me just pull it up. Oh, oh, I thought I fixed that. I guess I didn't. Okay. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay. So if I share, anyone can view, edit, and then I have to change this. Sorry, thought I got it, but I didn't. If I then change this so that this says copy. Yep, that should work. Yep. Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat. Sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay, here it is. And I'm going to fix this here. Edit. Copy, paste, apply. Okay, now. Yep, now it works. Okay. Just make sure to get rid of all the other ones. Okay, you guys, did you all snooze after that? Did I lose everybody? Got off to a start and then it all came to a screeching halt. Okay, so this is the template I based mine off of, but I went in and I have 2 slides for each because I then created the sample, and then when you're in present mode, let me just go through and present mode. Like say I go here, I have I have a sample what it looks like, and then I have the present mode, I have the continue button, and then I actually have tutorials that are in there so that you guys have that information to complete just as a sample. Now, I don't expect you guys to go in and do all this work. One note on these tutorials, I'm using this, I just learned about this tool, and let me put that in the chat. This tool, IROD, has, you can view it, you can watch it, you can print it. I like the try it mode because, and you can also change the text here to, like, if I wanted to put that in Danish, when I started,
click on your assignment slide to launch a new window that will allow you to copy the slide to your Google Drive. You will need to click on the area in the highlighted box to move to the next step in this tutorial, or set it to watch under Try It menu.
I can't get rid of him. Okay, so even though the text is still in English with the reading out loud, over here, this box changes and that's all in Danish. So you can change the word for a second language support. Now they do have a free version of this, but I decided to subscribe to it for, I think it's $10 a month, because then I could download the videos so that I could integrate the tutorials into some of the other videos I'm doing. But this with the free version, you can use it right off the website like that. That link is right to the website, and that's free ability. I didn't have to download it. If I didn't have to download it, I could have used the free version. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I did this a little bit more elaborately. I'm not expecting you guys to do all that work. I just was trying to come up with another way to show how this could be used for differentiated instruction. When you're in the launch mode for this, and for this class, I want you to complete one of these. You're going to hit your assignment slide. Oh, same issue. Okay, I'll fix those when you guys get to it. Let's step through it first. It opens an assignment slide, and then you can do your own if you actually have it set right, Monique. But you don't have it set right, so therefore they can't do it. Sorry, as they all glaze over while you talk to yourself. Okay, so that is probably the easier one to do for you guys than to try to mimic mine. So I've set it up so that we have different levels of ability, and it's pretty much the same steps. And let me just walk through that. I think I clicked it too many times. The storm just hit, huh? Warm spring. Still nothing out here, although it's getting darker. Okay, so this is an example of, let me just show you. I'm just going to click on the assignments I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this and just do it on here. So on the actual assignment slide, you would follow the steps that are on the tutorial right there. So this should launch the slide that pretty much looks like this. And in that slide, you would step through the instructions. The instructions say, for the beginner level, you're going to create a shape. To create a shape, this is the instruction I'm trying to teach them. To create a shape, I grab the shape tool up top, drag it down, create the shape, change the color by using the fill tool right there. So if I wanted to change that to red, it's now red. Now I have my first shape. The assignment says to do it at least 4 times, but we want to create the animation as we go. To insert the animation, we would do animate. I would then say appear. I would say on click for the first one, only for the first one, so that I know that it just doesn't automatically start. Now, here is how fast the animation takes place. By default, it's set for 1 second. 1 second's fine, so I'm going to leave it there. Then I need another animation. When you're doing this, you need one for the first move and then one to get it out of that move. So we have then animation. We want to now disappear, and we want this one to disappear after the previous. So once that's done running, we want it to go away. We're going to leave this at 1 second. Your appear and your disappear and your appear should match. If they don't match, and I'm going to show you what happens. So if we go, let's change this to 1.2 there. I need to add another shape. With the circle, it's easy. It's simple assignment. So I would just hit either insert, or I'm sorry, edit, and I could copy from up there. I could right click and copy, which I like to do. And then I right click and paste, or you can hit Control C and Control V. I got my second circle. I want to change the color. I'm going to go a little fast so that you guys can just see. I'm just going to do 3 on each so that you can see that the activity is the same. It's just the degree of difficultness changes. So it is now green. I now need to add my animation. I hit appear. When it appears, it needs to appear with the previous, meaning that as that one's disappearing, I need that one to appear. Then we need another action for it to disappear. So we change the settings and we hit after previous. So appear with, disappear after. That's the game plan. We need another one. Right click, copy, right click, paste. You can see this is pretty simple process. And let's make this one red. I don't know, was the first one red? I don't even remember anymore. Okay, move it into place on top of there. Oh, it was, look at that. And I can see it was because it's right there. Let me change this to blue. Okay, add the animation. When I add the animation, it adds it over here to the side. I hit appear. With appear, we want it to appear with. We add the animation. We want it to disappear after. Okay, let's pretend we now have 5 circles in there and we're all good to go. Hit the play button. Now nothing's happening because I need to click to start the animation. Click. We now have the animation starting. But you know what? It didn't even, because it's a circle and there's a delay, you can't see the difference in that other than it was up on the screen a little bit slower or longer, I should say. But this is where you see it, is if when you go into something else. Let's do something like the Bitmoji. So if I go into Bitmoji, I don't have the slides in here. I need the other one. Sorry. I really do need the other one. Advanced. There it is. Let me make a copy. We're going to pretend like we launched it. We hit copy. With the advanced one, so we saw the steps that I used were simple. They were create the shape, copy the shape, add a beginning motion and an end motion. That's the skill we want to teach. So now with the advanced challenge, I have encouraged the students to maybe use their own Bitmoji or go into Spark and get a bunch of icons, whatever you want to do. You're going to use something slightly different. I'm going to go ahead in this one. If you were to use yours, if you have already and there is a tutorial in there on how to download it. Like I have the Bitmoji attached right to my Chrome browser, which I showed you. There is a video in the slide that shows you how to do that. You would then go in, you would then right click on them, download them. And then what you could do is you could replace mine by just replacing the image. You upload your image instead of mine. Obviously, mine is going to be the same image. I'm just going to do this one just so I know it's a different one. So you would go through and do that so that you had all your Bitmojis there. You can see that's a little bit more work involved for the student. So it's more advanced. Then the student goes ahead, they copy, they paste the shape's in there. We now insert animation. Same drill, appear on the first one, it's on click. This one we're just gonna leave it at 1 second. Then we're gonna add another animation for disappear. Disappear after. And this one is where you're gonna see if I change it. So I'm gonna put that to 1.2 and leave all the rest at 1. Then we go back in, we copy another one, Control C. Control V. We now have to kind of, you can see the skill set is that you need to then kind of match the waistline and get them in so that it's almost right on top of there, but it's not as easy as a circle. You're going to add the animation. We're still doing appear. We're still doing with from here on, appear with, add animation, disappear, after. Same thing, we're leaving the setting. Go to here, grab this one, Control copy. I'm just going to take 4 so that we've got, again, it's a little bit more advanced. I'm just showing now, if you wanted to do a writing assignment, it doesn't have to be a graphics assignment. You know, graphic is my thing. So I've been wanting to play with the Bitmojis in here and create an animated Bitmoji. So I decided to do it. Add animation, see how every time you add it, now that it appears in your little menu here, appear, always with, add animation, disappear, after. Same skill set. You'll be able to see if the students learned the process. So now we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3. Oh, let's just add one more. Why not? It's just better if we have a little bit more to work with. We add one more, center it, add your animation. Again, helps to scroll down, appear, on click, no, with, appear with, add animation, disappear, and disappear after. Okay, we've got all our animations in. Say there are 5 in there. We hit play. You have to hit click. And it plays. Did you guys see the lag? Did you see how you could still see one of the images behind it? Let me do it again. Look at the first image. Second, going into the second. See how it disappears too late? That's the only difference. You have to, in order to not have that, you have to make sure that your disappear and your appear have the same timing. So I know that they're set for 1 second. So now I can go back in, click. Now the animation plays cleaner. So whether it's a circle, whether it's text, with the intermediate one, so I don't want to bore you guys to death, with the intermediate one, you copy and paste from the second slide. I'm going to go in and fix that right now so that you guys can get to the slides. But pretty much, I taught a skill to the students. The students all have to complete the task, whether they complete the level 1 or the more advanced one. They're showing me that they understand what I've taught them, but I'm giving them a little easier task. And then the kids that want more of a challenge or are a little bit more curious, in the previous class, somebody said, well, if you give them just those choices, they're all going to pick the easy one. Well, I'd probably start with the circles too, because I like colors. So I'd start with the circle, but then I would want to see if I could do the other ones just because that's the kind of person I am. Now, some kids might just stop right there, but then at least you know that they have learned that skill. Are there any questions so far? Or what? That's a lot. It's a lot. Now, I know I picked something really complicated to do. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Purpose of this meeting what I'm trying to say is showing how to differentiate instruction by giving the students choices, or is it that we want them to practice with technology in slides? Like this is your example.
My example, that's why I said my example, I probably went off the rails. Got too many windows open. Okay, let me find my template here. My example is probably, I went off the rails with my example because I had decided to do this graphic thing as a sample and give you guys a twofer, a way to learn how to do something to jazz up your slides and show how to differentiate instruction at the same time. That's really lost in the process because we really don't care about them learning a technology skill. What we want them to do, that's why I'm saying that you probably are better off going in here and then creating a copy for your assignment of this example, because this example is just it's going to tell you, summarize what you want them to. You're just going to choose a assignment, whether it be a vocabulary word or a maybe shutter speed. I know there's photography in here. You're gonna choose something, that a skill that you want somebody to learn, or a concept. It doesn't have to be a technology skill. It could be a concept. And then as an example, somebody was dealing with robotics in the early class, and they said, well, I could have my students label a diagram on what the parts of a robot are for the beginning skill set. And then she couldn't come up with an in-between. So I said, delete one of the slides and only do 2 skill sets. Do a more advanced and a basic. So she said, okay, I could have them just label the slides, label a slide of all the different aspects of a robot for an easy way. And for somebody who's more advanced in robotics, maybe have them do a video or say what another skill would be to take in another level. Does that make sense? So,
yes, you answered my question. Thank you.
can somebody else put it in another way? Can somebody else phrase it differently? How maybe you could take one skill and show it in 3 different or 2 different levels, even 2 different levels. I don't care if you guys go in here and delete one whole box and delete the slide that goes with it, and it only gives me 2 different levels of differentiation, making the words up as I go. I just want you to start to think of how you could create opportunities for students at different levels, but teach them the same basic skill sets, so that Johnny is learning he's barely hanging on and he needs to just learn the basics here. But Jonathan already knows the basics and you're going to bore him to tears. So what could you give him to do that would have you show me how he could show you that he understands that concept, but not as basic as Johnny? Sense? Or did I lose everybody now? So why don't you?
Hey, Monique, can you put the link to this slideshow that you just shown in the chat? Because I can't click on anything on the agenda.
Yes, I can. I'm going to fix that right now. So this is the advanced one. So we're going to put that in the chat.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. So yeah, try to do one of them. So on the actual slides here, if you put it in either play mode or presentation mode, if you guys would just do the simple animation on one of them, when you click on this link here, it'll open up a form. And if you guys just complete the form and then copy your link to your simple animation. If you got one done, just go ahead and submit it. If you didn't get one done, that's fine too. I just had it in there. It was just to show that that would be one way to turn it in. Now, the easiest way to deal with students turning things in, as we discussed in the last one, is actually to have them just do it in Google, in Canvas, so that you have everything in one place and it's self-graded and all that good stuff.
Hey, Monique, is it possible for you to put the turn-in link and the survey link, or I guess the survey link's the same on the other agenda? Is the turn-in the same from the first training?
Yes, yes. So you can click on the one from the first one, just select the second choice. Or
Okay,
just
sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, just so I can clarify this in my head, I think I got it, but so you're saying that, for our assignment, we're doing the animations ourselves, get a practice and playing with it, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do the animations.
Okay.
The animations was my sample. That's what I'm saying.
So we're creating something that's going to be something similar for our students. Is that what you're trying to say?
You're going to use this template right here, because that one's easier to do. And all I want you to do is a minimum of 2 levels. You can get rid of one of the slides so that it's not 3. If you can think of something that you would be able to, I just can't even, my brain is stuck on stupid right now. I can't even think of another example. But if you think of a concept that you're trying to teach and 3 different ways that you could teach the same concept, just like I had the animation, I had to do a simple ball. Then I had actual text, which required copy and pasting, text items or number items for the intermediate. And then for the advanced, I had them first learn how to download their Bitmojis and then animate those. So there was more steps involved, but the actual skill that I taught them was how to animate something in Google Slides, and they all learned the same skill, but they performed it at different levels, meaning that they took it to the next level and used different resources.
So it's basically like we're scaffolding.
Yes. So it's like a scaffolding activity, but in the case of this, the students would be able to just do one. So if you had a kid, and that's what the other teachers were saying this morning, is that, well, all the kids will choose the first one because it's easy. Yeah, they might do that with the first one, but you might have a lot of kids that choose to do the first one and go on and do the other two or the other second one because they want to see what the other one was. Or you might have some kids after they do the first one say, oh, forget that, I'm just going to go to the third one and just do the most advanced one so that I only have to do one and it's more interesting than just doing the basics.
I think if you label them not beginning, intermediate, and advanced and put something else on there as choices without them realizing one might be easier or not, then their choices might be different by their own personal preference as to which one they prefer to do. And then you'll get more kids to do advanced because it might be a cooler thing.
That is a great point. That is a great point. I use their template, so I didn't even think to change that. I just said, okay, I've got a starting point, but that actually makes more sense to me because if you've got 3 choices up there and you say, pick one, now they're going to pick one and they may pick one and end up doing all 3, but at least they're going to pick one and you're giving them a choice to do, or they'll pick one and say, oh no, I can't do that. I'm going to go back and pick the other one. So that's a great tidbit. But yeah, so you're going to just create some sort of, it doesn't have to be a physical. I don't even know what the example would be for the rest of you guys. You know your content area better than I do. I picked animation because I deal in graphics, or I could have done a simple video. Maybe create 3 different types of videos, have them do, as an example, they go into Spark and create 5 slides and create a video with a vocabulary word under each. And maybe the more advanced one would be a video that explains one word.
Monique,
Yeah.
I know that you've mentioned Spark a couple times now,
Yeah.
Adobe Spark. Do we as a school district all have free access to that, or is that something?
Yes, you do.
school site?
Yes, you do. Every student and every adult in our district, you just go to adobe.spark.com. You sign in with your email, GAUDIM for me. Continue. Oh, I guess I have to do the whole email.
And is this by any chance, is Adobe Spark also attached in Clever?
I don't know if they've got it attached in Clever, but it is
Okay.
attached in Canvas.
Okay.
It is in Canvas. So you would go company, and then you just use your AD login.
So I'm saying right now, because I'm not very familiar, this might be another great training for the year to do an Adobe Spark. Because
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that you've mentioned it a couple times.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, well, we've been doing these workshops through the PDE department. We've done them this summer. And so there's those, and there have been several. So definitely look online, because I think
Okay.
the PDE department's going to offer them again. I think they're only $20 a class. And we're kind of integrating. I don't know why it's being really slow right now. So like I said, see how slow my thing is turning. But every student and every staff member, not just teachers, has this whole web face of resources. And that's a whole nother training. And yeah, just send me an email and I'll send you a link to what some of the previous trainings were, and also some tutorials if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, that is I just love Spark. It's a good go-to resource for quick and dirty. Now I use all the Adobe Creative Cloud suite, but I find myself like, see, when I create icons, this is what I said was I'll create one icon, but then I'll take it and then I'll just go in here and create multiple colors. And then I'll just download it and create a whole library that I can then use and upload. So I just start the download, then I change the color and download it in like 10 different colors. And then when I want to change the icon to something different, I just hit replace. So that one is decisions. If I say flower, it then gives me unbelievable resources. I choose this one, it changes it. I change the color 10 times, download it 10 times. It's a quick workaround for me to get icons and ways to create more visually appealing content. So I use this where I used to go into Photoshop and spend days doing all this other work. Now I can do it in the matter of seconds. So yeah, I use that. And you can create web pages and you can create short videos. So it's a great resource and it's free for all of our students. And after the kids graduate, we'll send a link out that they can migrate their accounts, and anything they've created at that point, they keep, and they just migrate it to a personal email account. That's it. So it's a great resource. Okay, that was a total sidestep. Okay, any other questions about this training and what is expected? So you guys are going to take this one slideshow right here, and you're going to create something that's just showing me a differentiated concept of instruction. And you're just going to turn it in. And on that, when you turn it in, it's the same, this form, and this form is the same form on all 3 courses. So you launch it, you choose the section that you were in, the course and the section, and then you add your work location and your name, because I need to make sure I've got the right person when they pull it up in there. You add the link to your project that has share rights, and then just answer those questions. And that's it.
Real quick question about this again. Just I get it now, but one thing I want to ask is like, so an idea I had for that slide, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And I don't have to necessarily call it beginning, intermediate, advanced. I could do something like, say, 3-point lighting. It's like different. The
Yep.
beginning, just front lighting. Then you know what I mean. A fill light, key light, and then the last one, you do it all basically.
Go in here, get rid of that beginning, middle, end. Just get rid of that. Put in whatever concept it is. If it's 3-point lighting, if it's rule of thirds, now you're talking my language. Rule of thirds. Maybe you want rule of thirds and you want just basic rule of thirds somehow. They have to show it. Maybe for the rule of thirds for this one, you want them to find rule of thirds naturally in a series of slides that they download, or some of their images. Give me 5 pictures you took with rule of thirds, not just one. Maybe with this one, I don't know. It just, just make it simple. But you need to have at least 2 different levels. If you've got 3, great. But I need to see something like that just to show that you are trying to wrap your head around how something like this could work.
You're trying to differentiate.
You're trying to differentiate. And the reason to differentiate might be for boredom, because some kids already have a skill set and they need more of a challenge. It could be because they're English language learners and they maybe are limited in their understanding of the English language to start with. So if it's really simple and it's more visual, the first challenge is more visual and less text, or maybe there's a video instruction that goes with it. It could be because there's special education and they need more time. It could be a myriad of reasons, but what we want to do is try to give students, or maybe as Chrissy's idea was, she's got 3 projects and and all 3 projects have the same skill set, but she wants you to choose one of them, but she wants you to have a choice which one you do out of the three. So see how differentiated can be for a myriad of reasons. We want you to start using the tools to convey that. Okay. And with that, I'm going to stop the recording for this one.